The first thing I noticed was that she didn't blink. Not when the alarms screamed like dying robots. Not when the crowd behind her roared with that familiar mix of panic, bloodlust, and people who had absolutely paid too much for front row seats. Not even when I, humanity's least qualified representative, stood there holding a plasma baton upside down, like it was a very confused flashlight. She just stared at me. Blue skin. Not the cute I fell into paint kind of blue, but the deep, unsettling shade of this species definitely didn't evolve on Earth. Golden armor hugged her like it had signed a legally binding contract to never let go. Enormous wings rested behind her, feathers catching the arena lights like they were showing off on purpose. And her eyes, red. Not glowing, more like the quiet, intimate read of someone who knows exactly how many ways you could die and is politely deciding which one would be funniest. So, I said, because when facing an alien vampire warrior angel thing, sarcasm is the only emotional support tool I own. Do you come here often? Or am I just having the weirdest blind date in galactic history? She tilted her head, slowly, deliberately. The kind of motion that made my spine whisper. We are not surviving this. You smell, she said. Ah, romance. The crowd gasped. Somewhere, a betting drone short-circuited. I looked down at myself, sweaty, dusty, wearing borrowed armor that definitely violated several hygiene regulations, and nodded. In my defense, I replied, this is my first interspecies death arena. I panic sweat, a corner of her mouth twitched. Just barely. But I saw it. Oh, I saw it. That was the moment everything went wrong. Or right. Still unclear. My name's Calyx Rowan, professional human problem solver, accidental hero, and to the woman currently assessing me like an entree, potential property, the Human Federation had sent me to the Varelian Concord as a cultural liaison, which was diplomatic language for please don't let the aliens eat us. Unfortunately, no one mentioned that Varelians settled disputes with ceremonial combat, or that their champions were mortal vampire women with wings and unresolved emotional issues. Humanity, fragile, underarmed, and somehow still flirting with extinction. She stepped closer. I didn't move, mostly because my legs had decided to take a personal day. Up close, she was taller than me, broader in the shoulders, and radiated the kind of confidence that comes from living several lifetimes and winning most of them violently. I am Seraphina of House Nocturix, she said. Blood Commander, Warbound, Widow, twice. Wow, I said, that's a lot for a name tag. Her red eyes narrowed. You mock me. Respectfully, I corrected. It's a coping mechanism. Humans do it when we're terrified and mildly aroused. That did it. She laughed. Not loud, not gentle. A low, dangerous sound that rolled out of her chest like thunder that had learned how to enjoy itself. The crowd lost its collective mind. Varelians loved violence, but they loved and expected romance even more. You amuse me, human Seraphine said. That is rare. Story of my life, I muttered. A horn blared. The signal combat was supposed to begin. I was supposed to charge, fight, lose, heroically, and become a tragic footnote in an interstellar treaty. Instead, Seraphine raised a hand, silencing the arena. I claim him, she said. Silence. Then chaos. The officials shouted. The translators glitched somewhere. A lawyer fainted. I blinked. I'm sorry, you what me? I claim you, she repeated calmly, by right of challenge and blood interest. I leaned in, lowering my voice. Is that good or bad? She considered me for a moment, eyes dragging over my face, my posture, the way I held myself like a man who had absolutely no idea how he'd survived this long. For you, she said. Very good. For everyone else, inconvenient. Before I could ask any of the several thousand questions screaming in my brain, she grabbed me, not roughly, firmly, possessively, her hand wrapped around my arm, warm and strong, sending an electric jolt straight to places that were not prepared for interspecies diplomacy. The arena floor vanished beneath us as her wings unfurled, powerful enough to stir the crowd into a hurricane of noise. We lifted off, and I did the only reasonable thing. I should call my mom. I yelled. She carried me out of the arena, through corridors lit in crimson and gold. Past guards who bowed and avoided eye contact like I was already dead or married apparently. The same thing here. When she finally set me down, it was in a chamber that looked like a Gothic palace and a sci-fi lab had gotten drunk together. Velvet drapes, holographic stars. A bed that could legally qualify as a landing pad. I swallowed so. Claiming, does that come with a pamphlet? Seraphine turned to me, wings folding behind her. Up close, I could see the faint scars beneath. Hair-skin battles survived. Time endured. You are under my protection now, she said. You will reside here, you will eat, sleep, speak freely. And yes, she added, stepping closer until my back brushed the edge of the bed. You will belong to me. I raised an eyebrow. Like, emotionally? Or in the I should read the fine print way? Her smile was slow, predatory, and unmistakably amused. Human, she said softly. You ask very dangerous questions. Yeah, I replied, heart pounding. That's kind of my thing. She leaned in, her breath warm against my ear. Good, 'cause one revelation has already changed everything. Her fangs Grazinot bit my skin. A promise, not an attack. And this, she whispered, is only the beginning. If you think this is where it gets normal, you don't know alien vampire women or humans. And trust me, it only gets worse. Or better. Depends how much you like chaos. If you want to know what happens next, how a sarcastic human survives, being claimed by an immortal alien vampire woman, how the galaxy reacts, and how this turns into the most inappropriate relationship in recorded history, stay with me. I learned 3 important things in the first hour of being claimed. First, Varelian doors don't slide open. They judge you before deciding whether you're worthy of passing through. The walls hummed softly every time I moved, like the architecture itself was whispering. Oh, great, it's the human again. Second, alien vampire women have absolutely no concept of personal space. Or rather, they understand it perfectly and choose to violate it for sport. Third and Ispin, hit hardest, being claimed did not mean I was allowed to leave. Seraphine watched me pace her chamber, the way a cat watches a laser pointer. With patience, with interest, with the quiet confidence of someone who knew I would eventually tire myself out and sit exactly where she wanted. So, I said, gesturing broadly at the room, the bed, the dramatic lighting that suggested at least 3 kinds of scandal had occurred here. Just to clarify, am I a guest, a prisoner, or a collectible? She reclined on a throne-like chair that absolutely did not need to look that comfortable. One long blue leg crossed over the other, wings relaxed, armored partially disengaged at the shoulders, revealing skin that looked smooth and dangerous and very aware of the effect it had on mammals. You are mine, she said simply. I nodded. Right? Yes, we've established that. But like, emotionally mine, legally mine, or don't. Single quotes T-touch-that-it. Single quotes S-a-cultural taboo mine. Her lips curved upward. You talk when you are nervous. I talk when I'm alive, I said. It's my main indicator. She rose and walked toward me. Each step was unhurried, deliberate. The kind of walk that said I could chase you, but why rush? I backed up instinctively until predictably I hit the bed again. I was starting to suspect this was on purpose. You are under my claim because you intrigued me, Seraphine said. You faced death and chose humor, weakness and chose defiance, fear and chose flirtation. Listen, I said, holding up a finger. That flirtation was mostly panic. Even better, she replied. Honest instincts. She stopped, close enough that I could feel the heat from her body. Closer still, and the air itself seemed to tighten. Her eyes traced my face, lingering, not hungry, but curious. Like I was a puzzle she'd decided to solve with her hands. Do humans always look like this when they are claimed? She asked. Like what? Like they are considering escape, surrender, and kissing me, all at once. I swallowed. That's kind of our brand. She laughed again, softer this time. You are fragile, emotionally or structurally. Yeah. She reached out and touched my chest. Just one finger. Light pressure, the kind of contact that shouldn't mean anything and somehow means everything. My heartbeat betrayed me immediately. She felt it. Her eyes darkened. Your body tells the truth faster than your mouth. Rude, I said weakly. At least buy me dinner first. She tilted her head. Dinner? Food, I clarified. Shared meal, bondi, usually precedes other negotiations. Her brow furrowed. Then, smoothed as understanding clicked into place. Ah, courtship ritual. I blinked. Wait, this counts as courtship. You are in my chamber, she said. Alive, untouched. That alone is intimate by our standards. I let out a slow breath. Wow, humanity really needs to up its romance game. She turned away suddenly, activating a console with a gesture. You will eat, she said. You will regain strength. And then, she said without looking at me, we will speak of the bond. The word bond settled heavily in the room. A tray emerged from the wall sleek, hovering, covered in dishes that smelled surprisingly. Amazing spaced, meats, glowing, fruits, something that hissed faintly like it disapproved of being eaten. I stared. This isn't poisoned, is it? She looked offended. Pie. Wished you dead? Human. You would already be art on the floor. Comforting, I said, picking up a utensil that shifted shape in my hand. Very comforting. I ate, because I was hungry, because it tasted incredible. Because refusing food from an alien vampire warrior who had claimed me felt like a bad survival strategy. She watched me the entire time. So, I said between bites, what exactly does being claimed do? It binds you to my house, she replied. Protects you. March me. How? I asked cautiously. Her gaze flicked to my neck. I choked. Okay, let's slow down. She stood again, approaching with that same measured confidence. The mark is not a wound. It is a promise. Promises make me nervous. Good, she said. They should. She stopped in front of me and extended her hand. Not grabbing this time. Offering. Come, she said. I hesitated. Then, because I am apparently incapable of making smart decisions under pressure, I took her hand. She led me to a mirrored surface that shimmered to life. I barely recognized myself, frumpled human, eyes wide with equal parts fear and fascination, and beside me, her tall, blue, radiant in a way that felt ancient and dangerous. This is how the galaxy will see us, she said quietly. Us, I repeated. She met my eyes in the reflection. Do you object? I opened my mouth, closed it, thought of Earth, of diplomacy, of survival, of the way her finger on my chest had felt like a question my body had already answered. No, I said finally. I object to a lot of things. This isn't one of them. Her smile this time was genuine, warm, deadly. Then rest, she said. Tomorrow, I will show you what it truly means to belong. She guided me toward the bed, not pushing, not forcing, just guiding. The bed responded, reshaping itself, as I sat, supportive in a way that felt almost conspiratorial. In Seraphini, I said, yes, human. If this turns into a political scandal, I want it on record that I was kidnapped by a very attractive alien vampire woman. She leaned down, wings casting shadows over me. Her lips brushed my ear. Oh, she whispered. It'll be much worse than a scandal. She straightened and dimmed the lights, leaving me alone with my thoughts, my racing heart, and the terrifying realization that I wasn't sure I wanted to escape anymore. And that was before I noticed the faint, glowing mark beginning to form. On my skin, I woke up to the sensation of being watched. Not the creepy horror movie kind where something is breathing too close to your face though, in hindsight. That probably should have been my first assumption, but the quieter, more unsettling kind, the kind where someone has already decided what you are to them, and is simply waiting for you to catch up. I opened my eyes. Seraphine was standing near the window. If you could call a transparent energy wall overlooking a drifting window, arms folded, wings partially unfurled, like she'd forgotten to put them away. The glow from the stars painted her blue skin in silver and shadow, and for a moment, I forgot how to breathe. Good morning, I croaked. She turned, slow, like she'd rehearsed it. You slept, she said. 10 out of 10, I replied. Best mattress I've ever been existentially threatened on. Her lips twitched. The bed adapts to your species. Oh, I said. That explains the lumbar support and the emotional vulnerability. She approached, eyes flicking briefly. To my neck, some mark was there, now subtle, elegant, a faint sigil just beneath the skin, glowing softly like it was alive and very proud of itself. Okay, I said, sitting up. We need to talk about the glowing tattoo that definitely wasn't there before. She stopped at the foot of the bed. You accepted the claim? I accepted dinner. I corrected in mild existential dread. The bond listens to intent, she said, not words. Fantastic, I muttered. My subconscious has terrible boundaries. She sat beside me, not touching, but close enough that the space between us felt charged. I could feel her presence, like gravity. Heavy, inescapable. You are reacting well, she said. Define well. You are not screaming? I scream internally, I assured her. It's quieter? More efficient? She studied me again, head tilted. Most humans would be begging to be released. Most humans haven't been claimed by a blue vampire warrior with wings and a surprisingly good sense of humor. I said also, let's be honest, stunning would just make you faster. She smiled at that. A real smile. No fangs. No threat. The bond will deepen, she said. You will feel it more strongly. Emotional resonance. Physical awareness. I blinked. Physical awareness as in, she interrupted smoothly. You will know when I am near. When I am pleased. When I am displeased. That seems unfair, I said. Do you get that with me? She paused, then nodded. Yes, my confidence wobbled. Oh, yes, she repeated. Softer your emotions are. Loud. Wow. Rude. They are vibrant, she corrected. Unfiltered. You feel everything. Occupational hazard of being human, I said. Don't come with volume control. Her gaze soft. And that is why my kind fears yours. Because we're emotionally messy. Because you endured despite it. HFY moment. I felt that in my chest. Before I could respond, the chamber doors shimmered and opened. A group of Varillians entered, all armored, all very pointedly, not looking at me. At the front was a tall, sharp-featured woman with silver markings and a permanent expression of disapproval. "Blood Commander," she said, bowing slightly. "The council demands explanation." Seraphine stood, instantly regal. They may demand, I may ignore. The woman's eyes flicked to me. The expression tightened. "You bound yourself to a human," she said flatly. I waved. "Hi, I make bad first impressions everywhere. This is unprecedented." The woman continued. "A male, mortal, untrained, extremely untrained." I agreed. Seraphine's wings flared just enough to make a point. "He has claimed, that is law. The galaxy will react," the woman warned. "Let us," Seraphine replied. I raised a hand. "Quick question, does galaxy reacting involve assassins?" "Yes," the woman said. "And protests." "Yes, and awkward diplomatic dinners." Seraphine looked at me. "Especially those." I sighed. "I hate formal wear." The woman bowed again, stiffly, and left. The doors sealed behind them, the silence thick. "Well," I said, "that escalated." Seraphine turned back to me. "You are now a political complication." "Finally," I said. "A promotion?" She studied me for a long moment, then reached out and touched the mark on my neck. Heat spread from the contact, not painful, intimate, like recognition. "Does this frighten you?" she asked quietly. I thought about Earth, about the galaxy, about the woman standing in front of me, ancient and powerful, and somehow choosing me. "Yes," I said honestly, "a little. And yet, I added, "I'm still here." Her hand slid away slowly. "Then you are stronger than you know." I smiled. "Careful, if you keep saying things like that, I'll start believing you." She stepped closer again, voice low. "You already are." The bond pulsed warm, steady, undeniable. And somewhere beyond the chamber walls, the galaxy began to notice. The galaxy reacted exactly the way Seraphine said it would. Poorly. I found out when the first assassination attempt interrupted breakfast. To be fair, it wasn't dramatic. No explosions. No slow-motion dives. Just a hovering drone disguised as a fruit bowl that tried to liquefy my internal organs the moment. I reached for something purple and vaguely judgmental looking. Seraphine caught it midair and crushed it. In one hand, like an overripe tomato. "Was that for me?" I asked. "Yes." "Rude," I said. I hadn't even finished my meal. She looked down at the smoking wreckage. "You're adapting quickly." "Humans are very adaptable," I replied. "We complain, panic, make jokes, and then somehow survive out of spite. HFY baby." The attempts kept coming. Subtle ones. Loud ones. One involved a poisoned speech translator that tried to convince me I'd just insulted an entire lunar species' reproductive cycle. Another involved a jealous Varelian noble who challenged me to a duel and was deeply disappointed to learn that humans do not, in fact, have ceremonial blood lasers hidden in our wrists. Seraphine handled them all with terrifying efficiency. But the real danger wasn't the assassins. It was the bond. I felt her now always, a presence at the edge of my awareness. Her emotions brushed against mine like fingers. When she was amused, warmth bloomed in my chest. When she was angry, my skin prickled like the universe itself was reconsidering my survival. And when she was near, let's just say my body had opinions. "You are distracted," Seraphine said one evening, as we stood overlooking the stars. The galaxy spread before us, vast and uncaring, and suddenly very invested in my life. "I'm multitasking," I said. "Thinking about diplomacy and trying not to notice how close you are." She stepped closer. "I am always close," she said softly. I swallowed. "Yes, I've noticed. My nervous system has filed a complaint." Her hand slid into mine, casual, possessive, unmistakably intimate. The bond flared, not overwhelming, but right? Like something clicking into place that I hadn't realized was loose. "You have changed things," she said. "Not just for me, for my people." "That's kind of our thing," I said. "Show up uninvited, disrupt ancient systems, fall in love where we shouldn't." Her lips curved. "Love. You heard me?" She turned to face me fully now, red eyes searching my face. "Not as a commander, not as a predator, but as someone risking something." "You are fragile," she said again. "You will age. You will weaken." "True," I said, "but I'll do it loudly and with questionable fashion choices." "And yet," she continued, "you chose to stay." I squeezed her hand. "You chose me first." Silence stretched. "Between us, we're not awkward, heavy, important. You are mine," she said quietly. "And you're stuck with me," I replied. "Fair warning." She leaned in. Foreheads touched. No fangs. No dominance. Just connection. The galaxy could argue treaties. The council could panic. Assassins could keep trying. But in that moment, it didn't matter. When Revelation had changed, everything. Not that she was an alien vampire woman. Not that I was claimed. Not even that the bond tied us together. It was this. Humanity didn't survive the stars by being the strongest. We survived by being chosen and choosing back. And if the galaxy had a problem with that, well, they could take a number. Because I wasn't just surviving anymore, I belonged. And so did she. If you enjoyed this story, if you want more HFY romance, sci-fi comedy, dangerous alien women, and humans absolutely refusing to know their place, like, subscribe, and follow for the next story. Trust me, the galaxy gets even angrier from here.